guys, my name is Shane Norris and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm back with another video. And in today's video I'm going to be doing another GFX tutorial, except this time I have two GFX tutorials that are coming out because my previous ones are pretty and they're pretty old. I mean, some people have actually been asking me if I was going to upload a tutorial on how to shade and stuff, and I'm going to be doing that probably tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But I thought that it would be a nice idea to kind of just restart all of my old GFX tutorials because some of them are pretty they look bad, they're kind of hard to follow. So now I'm kind of in the rhythm of doing things more quickly, but at the same time kind of more directly and smoothly. So hopefully my videos are okay with you guys, and hopefully you guys feel okay with them. But today the whole point of this video is I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to make basic renders. Now my last tutorial on how to make basic renders was kind of okay, but at the same time I thought that I'd be making this video so that I can show you guys how to do it better. So the first thing that we're going to do before starting anything is we're actually going to find somebody to use as a reference. Now I was actually going to tweet on my Twitter asking if you guys wanted to like vote on a particular person to be rendered, but unfortunately since I actually left my Twitter a while ago and I'll be coming back to it later, I don't really have access to it, so I'm probably just going to choose somebody from my friends list. Either way, I'm just going to scroll here a little bit and see if we've got somebody I can try this out on. Maybe we could do it on Uzi. The thing is, I've already made a banner for him. You know what? I think Imperfectly is somebody who actually does GFX as well. So you know what? Why not? I mean, what we're gonna do is we're just going to copy his name so that we can actually use his name for the next part. So the only thing we have to do is copy his name, and then we are good to go to begin with our character. So yeah, we're gonna use Imperfectly for this one. Either way, now that we've got our character, the next step to making this happen is to go into Roblox Studio. Alright, so once you have Roblox Studio open, also quickly before I actually continue on this tutorial, some of the things you're gonna need, or the only things you'll need for this tutorial, are Roblox Studio and Blender. If you haven't already downloaded Roblox Studio or Blender, I'm actually going to leave links in the description below for you to download both of those things if you'd like. But yeah, I'll just leave those in the description below. You definitely need those for this video. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to go onto our base plate, create a new base plate, because I mean we don't really need anything special, and then you will be inside of Roblox Studio. So just a quick few things that I want to go over before we begin anything. Make sure that you have Explorer open. That is the most important thing that we actually need for this tutorial. And if you go to plugins and you go to manage plugins, you can go to find plugins, and then you can look at the library here. Make sure that you have this load character plugin. Now, personally, I already have it installed, and many other people have it installed already. So if you don't have it installed, make sure that you install it right now. It's very important that you have this plugin because it's very useful for what we're about to do. So we're just going to exit out of that really quickly. If you have the plugin, it should look a little bit like this. So make sure that you have load character as a plugin. Either way, now that we have our plugins, we have our load character and our animation editor. Those are the two plugins that we're going to be using. Don't worry about animation editor, it comes with Roblox Studio, so it should be there already. But what we're going to do is we're going to press the load character plugin, and then we're going to just delete this name here because we're not using Already Pro for this tutorial. Paste in the name that we want to use of our client or whatever. In this case, we're using Imperfectly Perfect, and what we're going to do is we're going to spawn him in R15. Make sure that this spawn at origin is checked so that it has the X on it. Very important, and I'll tell you why later. And press spawn R15, or you could even press R6, but in this case I don't really bend limbs, so I'm just gonna delete that one. Now you can kind of see that he looks pretty epic in this R15 form, but let's say you didn't like how he was skinny, or maybe he was an R-throw character. Like maybe, let's say if we just quickly modify him really quickly, let's say that he was this freaking tall, like a freaking Arthro. Let's say, because sometimes you can actually spawn people and they'll be Arthros. If you guys do not want this, all you have to do to modify this is go to his character model. So it'll be in workspace. So you go to imperfectly perfect, click this little thing, go to humanoid, and then you'll see all of these little things. I want you to delete them all so that he'll be like a little tiny guy. Now, I mostly do that for my thumbnails because I personally don't like having my thumbnails so that it's like, you know, I don't really like having my characters skinny or tall. I just kind of like them a little bit like this. So now that you have this done and pretty much all of that completed, the next step to making this get complete is we're just going to click on animation editor, and we're just going to drag this animation editor window wherever we want, and just minimize it like that, and it will say select a rig to animate. Now the only thing you need to do is just click on your character. You'll see a little blue outline, just click on that and then press create. And then as you can see, what we can do now is we can actually click on any of the limbs of our character and we can actually bend them and stuff, which is pretty fantastic, if you know what I mean. So what I usually do in my GFX tutorials is I usually like bending or twisting them a little bit like this. Go to the head, kind of make it a little bit like that. Go to the arms. You can kind of rotate them as well. If you want to move your arms, you can also press R to change the setting here. So press R on your keyboard and you can move them if you want. In this case, I don't. And if you want to undo anything, you can just press Control Z like any other way of undoing things. And we can just change the position of each of these limbs however we like. And yeah, we can just keep on doing what we like here. Make the leg go a little bit forward like that. And as you can see, I'm pretty happy with this. Now, let's say you accidentally click off of this, or you say you accidentally stop editing your character, like for example that happens. Don't worry, you just press the animation editor, click on your character, and it should load the animations back in. So once you've got a nice position, once you're happy with what you've done, the next step to making this cool is we're just going to go to home, and then we're going to make sure that we have our character selected and press anchor, and then we're going to exit out of our animation editor. And as you can see, our character is literally going to stay the exact same. Now let's say you wanted to change the position a little bit. You go back to animation editor and you realize that your character is not anchored, or your character is anchored. In order to edit things, you just unanchor your character, and apparently Roblox Studio just crashed, so that's freaking amazing. Sorry about that. My Roblox Studio just crashed out of nowhere. I'm not sure why. So again, we're just gonna anchor this character and press anchor and then press X. And once you have your character anchored, what we're going to do is we're going to right click on our character, press export selection, name it whatever we want, and you know what, I'll choose thumbnail renders because that's where my renders are going to be saved, and I'm just going to name him Imp. And I actually did this tutorial before because unfortunately it crashed, so we're just going to replace this, press OK, and you should be good to go. So now we're actually going to hop over and open Blender. Okay, so once you've opened up Blender here, as you can see, the first thing that we see in Blender is a stupid little cube. You're probably saying, well, I don't want this cube in my render place. So in order to delete this cube, all we have to do is press X and press delete. And that's pretty much how you delete. We can even delete this lamp here. I personally hate lamps. But before we actually do anything, there are a few things that I want you guys to do to prepare for this scenery. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change Blender Render to Cycles Render. Very important because Cycles Render is a lot better than Blender Render. Next up, we're actually going to go to this little world icon and we're going to go and click Ambient Occlusion. You don't really need to change the settings, just set it to Ambient Occlusion. Next up, we're going to go all the way down to Film here. It should be closed, but if it isn't, then what you're going to do is you're going to click Transparent, and that is going to make your final image transparent. Very important. okay? And next up, just nothing really else to edit here. I don't really think you guys really need to edit anything else, but that's pretty much, oh yeah. And make sure that this little circly thing here is set to texture so that you can see your textures when you spawn in your character and import the textures, which I will later show you. So, you're probably wondering, well, how do I move around Shay? Well, it's very simple to move around in Blender. All you have to do is press Shift F, and you can actually move around by hitting the WASD keys, and you can hit Shift, you can hold Shift while you're moving around, and that'll make you go faster. In this case, I just kind of want to do that, and if you want to stop moving around, you can just press click. But yeah, you can kind of just move around with your mouse by hitting Shift F, looking around, moving with your mouse, hold Shift to move faster, basically that. Now, you're probably saying, well, there's nothing really here anymore. We deleted that lamp and we deleted that little cube, so where's our character? Well, the way you import your characters into Blender is by going to File, Import, Wavefront OBJ, and I'm gonna blur that little segment because it's showing my email, and we're going to go to Roblox. We're gonna go to our thumbnail, and then we're gonna click imp.obj. And if you selected the spawn, you know, the thing that I showed you early before on the plugin, your character should spawn in the middle right here. If not, if you actually didn't press that object, it might actually end up going over there. Now, I don't have examples to prove that in this, but yeah, it should spawn right in the middle, and if it doesn't, then you did something very, very wrong. Either way, once you have your beautiful looking character in here, you're probably saying, well, it's all white. To fix this, all we're going to do is we're just going to click on the torso of our character by right-clicking on it, and then we're going to go to this little thing right here called the material thing. We're going to press use notes, and then we're going to press this little circle next to color, press image texture, go to this little thing, and you should see the texture of your character, and it should go over the entire character. And once you have that in place, you are practically good to go for the next step. So I can just kind of move around, look at my beautiful texture. If you actually didn't have this thing set on texture, it'll actually look like this. So make sure that you have it set on texture so that you can see it. Either way, once this is done, the next step to making your GFX is to go to View, Cameras, Active Camera, so that you can actually edit the camera in your Blender mode. Because if I actually did not move my camera, like let's say I thought my character was going to be rendered like this, let's say I hit render right here, as you can see, for some reason it's not rendering in the place I want to, because it only renders in the camera's view. So we're just going to hit 3D view and press X to get out of that. So again, to go into the camera and to move the camera, we're just going to go to View, Cameras, Active Camera, and to get out of it, you just press Active Camera again. So I'm just going to go to Camera, Active Camera, and I can move it around so that it fits my character. And as you can see, if I now hit render, it'll actually render my character in the scenery in where I actually took the shot. Anyways, we're just going to go back to 3D view because there's one more thing that I want to show you guys, and that is the resolution. So the resolution is this thing right here, and it's basically the pixel ratio of your camera right here. So what I like to do is I like to set mine by 2000 by 2000, and what that's going to do, oops, I accidentally cloned that. We're just going to do 2000 by 2000, sorry about that. Resolution set up to 100%, and we're just going to move this so that our render fits in the frame. You don't really need to worry about anything else, just as long as your render fits the entire frame, unless you're making a thumbnail. In this case, I like rendering the entire thing, so we're just going to click render, and as you can see, if we zoom out, it should begin to render our character, so I'll just speed up and show you guys when it is done rendering. Alright, so that actually took longer than I expected, but as you can see, this thing is completely finished and rendered. And to do some final changes and stuff like that. I mean, you can literally edit it in post-production. I meant not post-production. I meant Photoshop and stuff like that. You can even edit it in Paint.net, and I'll be doing a tutorial on how to do cool stuff with Paint.net in the future. It's just I have a Mac, so I'm probably gonna have to get access to Windows. Either way, not getting too complicated here. All we're gonna do is we're going to go to image, save as image, and then we're going to blur that out because my Gmail again, seriously, frickin' frick. And then we're going to go to thumbnail renders, name this whatever I want. In this case, I'm going to name it imp, press save as image. And as you can see, I actually go to my finder here and we go to thumbnail renders, as you can see, we now have our imp render. Either way guys, thank you guys so much for watching my tutorial on how to make basic epic renders. I hope that this one is a lot easier than the other one because a lot of things have changed in Roblox Studio and a lot of things have changed with the plugins as well. So hopefully this was easy to follow, and if you have any problems or any issues, make sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll try to respond to you and help you guys out as much as I possibly can. Either way, the next tutorial after this one is going to be shading, so I'll be recording that right away, but either way guys, you'll be seeing that tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys later. Peace out my friends and have a great day.